What was your biggest shit, no going back now moment? Every time I solo traveled and arrived in a new country. Same here. Also, solo moving to a new country. My plane touched the ground at about midnight in Stockholm and I was like shit, I'm 23 and I live alone in Stockholm. No going back now. So how's it going now? Thank you for asking. I'm 25 now, my boyfriend moved here with me, a while later, and I clawed my way up to my dream job. By far the hardest and best decision I've ever made, I hope it keeps rewarding me. Sounds like a dream. Did you meet him there? Thanks. No, we had just met as I was leaving home. Very strange timing, but where there's a will there's a way. Me taking pictures of the North Korean military. If I was caught I would be in a prison camp now. Can we see the pictures? 38th parallel up close, Imgur.com kids dancing in Main-Jungdae Children's Palace, Imgur.com Pyongyang Metro, Imgur.com North Koreans rallying in support of the new policies of the party, Imgur.com military personnel, Imgur.com edit, more pictures, full view of Kim Il-sung Square Drive.google.com North Korean military Jeep Drive.google.com party headquarters of Pyongyang Drive.google.com military trucks in Pyongyang Drive.google.com North Korean banknotes, Drive.google.com. Holy shit my man, you really dodged a bullet there. Literally. That or prison camp. Which is worse than a bullet? Mission complete. Respect plus. When I was younger, letting my older cousin talk me into a canoe ride down a flooded river. We'd planned it days in advance, but there was a lot of heavy rain in the area and the normally calm river was near flood level and quite rough. I really didn't want to do it, but I didn't want to let him down either, so I still went. I knew as soon as we saw the river this was a terrible idea. The whole thing was a shit show and I honestly thought we were going to die. We had no control and at one point we got stuck nose down in a large rock, knowing if we tipped out we were drowning. We somehow made it out into the shore where we walked back with the canoe. Rule number 1 with any kind of paddle-unpowered water sport: if you have any doubts, stop. Even in a shallow river, that thing flips and conks you on the head, you drown. Wear your PFD and follow your gut. Edit, because others have more effectively reworded it, #if in doubt, don't go out. Honestly. I went on a canoe trip with an ASDID summer camp a few years back and the rain took the class 2 rapids up to 3 to 3.5 or whatever and we weren't even supposed to go over them anyway. Every single canoe flipped but me and my partners, but we took on so much water from the splashing that it straight up sunk. Spent the next 2 hours swimming up and downstream trying to catch all the gear that spilled. Water ain't no joke. I love water, I'm a sailor and paddler, but it scares me a lot. Being hit by a simple 3-foot-high wave at the beach will teach you that quickly. We call that nature's neti pot. Canoeing over a waterfall. I hopped a freight train once, and the moment it hits 15 to 20 miles per hour, you're just along for the ride. But the real no going back moment came when the train stopped on a siding outside Winnemucca. After waiting there for like 5 hours, I decided to walk into town and get some ice cream sandwiches. As soon as I got 50 yards from the train, I realized, if it starts rolling now, I'll be too far away to chase it down. I'll just be stuck in this town for a while. Edit, for you kids out there, riding freight trains is dangerous and illegal, and dirty and loud and unreliable. Don't do it. Also, I should point out that Winnemucca is home to some of America's best Basque restaurants, fantastic cowboy heritage sites, and it's the gateway to the Black Rock Desert. It's got something for everyone, not just stranded hobos. There's definitely no going back from Winnemucca. TBF, this is how 90% of Winnemuccans ended up there. The other 10% via semi, with a high and canvas-covered load. Stepping off that sandbar I could barely reach to swim out to the girl caught in a riptide, and not knowing how a riptide worked. It took what felt like hours but, spoiler alert, we made it. Too early in the season for lifeguards. I remember calling out to people walking their dogs on the beach, but we were so far out they didn't even look towards us. I'm sure she is eternally grateful that you took that step. Don't know, she was a friend of a friend and I barely knew her. I was trapped in a riptide as a young child. A stranger pulled me out, and almost 30 years later I still remember his face and how emotional it was. Trust me, she remembers you. Mountain biking with some friends on a new trail, which wasn't even a bike trail. We hiked most of the way up since it was too steep to ride up. Carried our bikes all the way up. Rested at the top for a bit and then rolled over the edge. I remember as my front tire crested and gravity started taking over, I thought, there's no way I'm stopping now, unless a tree stops me. Edit, wow, this really blew up. Rock on. Who all wants to get a group ride going? I know a similar feeling. I was mountain biking too, and out of some really dumb instinct I pulled the front brake way too hard. It wasn't my bike, so I didn't know it well. Luckily I didn't break anything, but when I started taking off it was a really bad feeling. Parachute jump. My life is now no longer in my hands. Oh well. Geronimo. First time I went skydiving was a tandem jump, and the guy told me on the ground, once we get in the door we'll rock back and forth 3 times, on the 3rd time forward just roll out the door. So, me being the trusting sort thought that was a solid plan. We get up to altitude, open the door, I put my feet on the little platform and cross my arms just like he told me to. The ducker rocked back once and pushed us out the door immediately. My only thought was that wasn't 3. Oh fuck, we're falling. My first tandem jump was in Russia and I speak no Russian. We were in the doorway and my guy is like? And I was like, ooh, okay. Harasho? And then we were off. Walrus was Paul. Wait, if the walrus was Paul, who is the Eggman? Getting in the ambulance after suffering a grand mal seizure from alcohol withdrawals. When I finally said enough is enough and decided I needed to quit drinking before it killed me, I thought I could detox on my own as I was terrified of hospitals. I was wrong. I spent a week detoxing in the ICU, and now, almost a full year later, I'm still very happily sober and I'm completely thriving. I've witnessed 2 friends seize from alcohol withdrawals. It's crazy. One of my friends fell back into alcohol and nearly died from liver failure. Through some sort of a miracle he survived and is doing well. I can remember having what was supposed to be our last conversation on the phone. He wasn't supposed to make it through the weekend. Good job, I'm happy for you. When I was about to get on the plane to my first semester of med school, my dad, never one for sentiment, said, well, you are now actually worth more dead than alive, don't screw this up. The feeling when the plane takes off, knowing Therese no turning back. It all depends on you. A scary feeling that is. True, in my time impersonating a pilot, that was usually the most unnerving feeling. When I asked my crush if she is ready for a relationship with me. The 2 hours I waited for a reply took forever. Also, sadly, she said no. Edit, yeah, okay, I think that blew a bit up. Just to clarify, I really had tough feelings for her, and every time we spoke I thought that there was something. After literally 1 whole year I finally asked her, like an idiot, on WhatsApp that question. She said no sorry, and I said that it was okay and dumb for me to ask, and she said sorry again. I told her that I don't want this anyone to know. Well shit, here I am on Reddit, and pretend like this never happened. After that I didn't feel empty or some other stuff. I just felt that everything that I built up to this moment was for nothing. Thanks though for the support. BTW, I know that it was stupid and like a child would do, but I didn't know better. Now I do, and I'm starting to get again feelings for her. Maybe let's see how the second try is. Edit 2. Okay, that's cool how everyone has a different opinion about that, but it ends up on everything. You ducked up. Yeah guys, I know. And thanks for the gold. Hey bro, it's better to have a crack at it and fail than to just sit in limbo. At least you had the bollocks to try, and now you know. It's much better to know than to look back in the future and wonder what if. Silver lining, if she took 2 hours to reply, at least she respects you enough to take time composing a reply. That first time being dropped off on the Appalachian Trail several states away from home and watching the car speed off into the distance with nothing by my own legs and a stick I found to get me back. I love that stick. I'd duck that stick if it had genitals. Edit, I'm butthurt that this is my top rated comment so far. And because I didn't use lube. Oh my god. I've dreamt of doing the Appalachian Trail for the last 6 years or so. How was your experience? I also know I shouldn't do it, because I went on a 32-mile one-way hike last month and was praying for a tree to fall on and kill me so I didn't have to walk the 32 miles back. LMFAO. I saw so many people hurt themselves and quit within the first 2 weeks because they were all pushing too hard. All this talk of cranking out 20s like it's no big deal that I went like 8 to 12 miles a day for the first week and was still sore every day. After that I kept it 12 to 15 and took it easy if I felt something off. The miles will come, you'll get in better shape, all you have to do is not quit and everything will sort itself out. But if you start trying to crush miles and you duck up your knee, well, that's kinda dumb.